Hello everyone, Jeff and Jay here with another edition of Jay's Big Adventure. Jay's the fuzzy guy. And today we're working on the throttle response issues on the BMW K1600 series motorcycles. Now if you've been following along, you know the bikes came out in 2011. The 2011 to 2016 bikes are kind of the first generation. 2017 and up are the second generation, and that's where some of these problems occur. What's happened is that to pass the European Union emissions specifications starting in 2017, BMW had to drastically change the way the bikes respond to the throttle. At low RPMs and low throttle openings, the later bikes really have a lag that is annoying, especially around town. So let's go back to hot rodding 101. If you want an engine to perform really well, especially off idle, what you want is a high octane fuel, a fat fuel delivery curve, and a bunch of ignition advance. The problem is those settings are hard on the emissions of the engine. Now with modern catalytic converter equipped engines, that shouldn't be as much of an issue, but the European Union standards have gotten so restrictive that BMW had to back off the ignition timing and lean out the fuel mixtures to pass the current standards. What we're going to try to do today is to reverse some of that and make the later model bikes perform more like the earlier ones. To do that, we are going to use a Brentune handheld programmer, which is going to hopefully fix these issues. The way they do that is we're going to download the fuel and ignition maps from my specific motorcycle. We're going to send that file to Brentune. They're going to modify it and send it back. And with this handheld tool, we're going to upload the file that they created for my specific motorcycle and see if it makes a difference. Hey, you guys did that all right. Yep, you got it right dead center on the tire. Say hello to Micah, everyone.
My name is Micah.
Micah Fathers,
Micah
right?
Fathers, yeah.
Okay, so tell me about this rig and how you got started.
So, I knew a guy who was doing the mobile dyno, and I had dynoed my bike with him probably 4 or 5 times before I got it, and he started talking to me about it as we kind of hung out a little bit more, and you know, as I started hanging out with him, he said that he was selling it, and you know, I kind of thought about the opportunities and how easy it would be to take it out and, you know, have the dyno at meets and stuff, so people don't have to take it to a shop, and you know, I can go to people's houses and just have the ease of being able to transport a dyno to tell people how much power they're making. And you know, I bought it and started practicing and learning how to use it, and after a while I just started doing it, and it kind of took off. I mean, people just loved it. It came to the meets all the time. People were just lining up, and we've just been taking it around to different people's places and doing different events, and you know, just taking the dyno around, and it works out really, really well. And it's awesome.
Is this your full-time gig, or is this just a side hustle?
A side thing. I do it mostly like a couple times a week. Friday nights where the biggest meets are. And then sometimes on the weekend when I can get out and, you know, take it out. Very
cool. So it's obviously it doesn't weigh very much. Pulling it with a
my FJ Cruiser
with the FJ.
Yeah, it weighs like 1,500 pounds. And
oh, that's not bad at all.
Yeah, it works as my trailer too, so I can pull my bike around.
So how does this work? Tell me how this.
So it's
how the dyno works.
It's called the Dayton Dyno 325. It's the bigger of the dynos that were made by Dayton.
Okay.
But it's an inertia dyno, so it takes the power pushed by the bike at the point of contact right here at the wheel, and then the computer reads it and can tell how much friction it takes to get the wheel moving, to where it sends it to my computer, and I can program that into horsepower and torque, so I can see how much.
So it's a heavy wheel that the computer knows how much force it takes to spin that up, and then it calculates horsepower and torque from there. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And and the fans are there to keep the bike cool.
Yeah, cool her down. There's a lot of different factors that come into place with temperature, humidity, and different things like that. So I have a weather station to try and compensate for some of that. And then, you know, you get into elevation, how tight everything's strapped down, and there's a million different factors that affect, you know, horsepower and torque. So,
well, let's run it and see what it does.
like, yeah, man.
Fans going. Okay.
So first I gotta get it the RPMs matched to the computer, so I gotta match the motor RPMs with the drum so I can get an accurate reading.
Okay.
So I'll get it going up until about 4th gear. Once I get 4th gear, then I'll do the first pull.
Okay, very good.
I'll start that now. Cool.
Okay.
For the 2020.
All right, let's do it. This is the expensive one, so don't drop it.
You don't want to sit down?
You're a little far to the left. That's why that reverse gear is nice. There you go.
Okay, so we just did an ECU flash on the 2020. Now we're about to do the run, see if we can get a little bit more power out of it. So here we go.
Sounds good. So what did we learn today? We actually learned more than we thought we were going to learn. I'll get into that in just a minute. But let's talk about the differences between the 2020 before and after the Brentune ECU flash. What we did is we sent the stock file out to Brentune, they modified it, sent it back, and we put that in the bike. With the stock tune, the bike made 138 horsepower, 138.5 horsepower at 8,100 RPM. At 7,100 RPM, the engine was making 134.4 horsepower. Here's why that difference is important. With the Brentune software, maximum power went up to 149.5, but only at 7,100 RPM. So not only did it gain almost 15 horsepower, but it dropped 1,000 RPM in the process. That's a significant difference. It has a bunch more mid-range. It has a bunch more torque. Where you spend most of your time. Do I run the bike to 8,100? Yeah, okay. Occasionally, if I'm going out and going around somebody and I don't want to take time to shift, I'll run it all the way to red line. But usually, 5 to 7,000 RPM is the high end of where I'm running the bike. The Brentune software significantly increased the power, and the maximum increase in horsepower turned out to be 16, and that's a pretty significant difference. That's 10% more power with just spending 10 minutes with with some software. I mean, that's pretty impressive. Now let's talk about the 2012. One of the things that I was looking for is how much has the power changed over time. My 2012 has 65,000 miles on it, and that bike only made 117 horsepower. Now, that was also at 7,000 RPM. At 8,100 RPM, the 2012 is only making 78 horsepower. So something's wrong. The cats are getting clogged, the air filter may be dirty. I'm going to need to look into it and find out what's going on, because that is something I was not expecting. But when you ride them back to back, it becomes pretty apparent. With the 2012, because that high-end power is dropping off so quickly, I've just learned to essentially short shift it, 5,000, 6,000 RPM, and that's about as far as I take it, because the power drops off so significantly beyond that. Now, I've adapted over time. It's not a conscious decision. You just learn that if you want the bike to accelerate, that it's really strong in the mid-range, use the torque, and that's what I've been doing. Going to the 2020 after the ECU flash, yeah, it's pretty significant. There's a big difference between 6,000 and 8,000 RPM, because the power goes basically all the way to redline now. It's a significant improvement. That's what I was hoping for. In addition to that, I've got the additional throttle response. Down low, off idle, around town, in and out of parking lots, that throttle response is back, and at 2,000 RPM, if you just crack the throttle, I'm not wind on it, but if you just crack the throttle, the bike just leaps, and that's what I was missing, and that's what we have back. So, was it worthwhile? I don't know. It depends on what you're looking for. The software package that I got with the ability to change maps, which go all the way to 104 octane. Okay, I'm only at 91 now. The ability to change maps, the ability to go back to stock, that package is $800. I think it's $795. So it's expensive. It isn't. It is not an inexpensive option. But nothing that you can do to the motorcycle will change the way it rides more than this package. So I heartily recommend Brentune. If you can get 93 octane, it'll be even better. These numbers will just go up. At some point, if I can find 93 here, I may run the tests again just to see what numbers that produces. And also remember, I'm at 5,000 feet. If I was at sea level, these numbers would be even higher. So great product, great technical support. Love the way that it has changed the way the bike rides. And that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for watching. Please like, please share, please subscribe, please watch the other videos, and we'll have more videos out soon.